Hello, children. I'm Mrs. Kavita Gaikwad from Hindustan Antibiotic School. So, today we are back again to complete the last lesson in our textbook. Of course, the ninth lesson, that is tourism, communication, and transport, isn't it? So, three important terms, children, we are going to study in this lesson. Let's get started with the PowerPoint presentation. We are going to learn three different terms. You know what is tourism, transportation, and communication. Quite simplified, isn't it? Tourism, first of all, we know it's the commercial organization and operation of holidays or visits to different places, isn't it? Both the countries, our country as well as Brazil, has wonderful, attractive areas, and millions of tourists visit both the countries every year. Let us have a look at the first one. This picture, you can see the beautiful areas in Brazil. Clean white sand beaches, attractive seacoast, beautiful islands, orchards, deep dense forest of Amazon, various birds and animals attract lots of international tourists here in Brazil every year. The new capital city of Brasilia is also a tourist attraction. We all know it. And the cities like Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo are the large cities which attract maximum tourists every year. Tourism is an important occupation here in this country, children. But nowadays, you should know that they are also practicing ecotourism. It is practiced at a higher rate. As we know that ecotourism is when you equally care for the ecology of that particular area. So we are not going to disturb the ecology when we visit a particular tourist place. So this is kept in mind when we visit a particular place. So this concept, a new concept of ecotourism, is also fastly growing in both the countries. Let us have a look at these beautiful pictures. The first one, isn't it? The marine tourism. You can see the ship and you can see many people love to have a view at all these beautiful places. The beach at Rio de Janeiro, isn't it? Number of international tourists visiting India in 2015 is more than that of Brazil. You come to know that more people are visiting Brazil. Even on page number 61, I hope your textbooks are in front of you, children. On page number 61, you will see in figure 9.1 the number of international tourists in both the countries. The red line shows the number of tourists in India and the blue line shows in Brazil. When you compare the two lines, when you see the two different lines in the line graph, you come to know that Brazil was higher than us, but later from 2010, the tourists in India have grown on a larger scale, isn't it? Even though this is true, the share of tourism sector in the GDP is less than that of Brazil. Apart from this, the proportion of Indian population engaged in tourism proportion is higher than Brazil. In the last chapter, children, we learned about the concept of GDP, and you know that this is primarily dependent on the size of the population of those countries and the size of the GDP, isn't it? So, tourism is one of the occupation that is going to add on to the income of a particular nation, of a particular country. As the GDP of India is higher than Brazil and so also its population, therefore the contribution of tourism to GDP appears lesser than Brazil and population engagement seems higher. We should keep in mind that in India the population is higher, so the figures also differ in GDP. Now have a look at these beautiful pictures in our country. You can see the Ajanta caves, the beautiful temples, the gateway of India, and Guwahati in Assam. The number of international tourists in India is constantly growing, but this increase appears to be more than 2010. This increase in the number of international tourists is consistent. Foreign tourists visit India for heritage, adventure, culture, health, and even business. You know these different types of tourism that are growing day by day. Ecotourism, as we had a talk in the previous slide, is also being given a boost in India. Considering the heritage of India, there are plenty of opportunities for tourism in many parts of the country. Many places are being developed for this. It is one of the growing industry and which is really giving a higher income to the both the countries. So this was all about tourism, children. Let us move on to the next factor or the next concept, that is transportation. Quite simple. You know what is transportation. Transportation is everything. The roadways, the railways, the airways, even the seaways. Have a look at this slide. This particular slide shows you the major transport routes in Brazil. The thick pink line shows you the major roads and the thinner pink line shows you the other routes. You can also refer to the index as well as the map in the textbook and see how the railways are developed in various parts, particularly the southern part of the country, isn't it? The southern part, which is also quite dense in terms of population, settlements, you see more railways over there. But in the central part, you will not see many railways. Have a keen look at the map. So these are the major roads, railways, and even you can see the airports. The sign of the aeroplane indicates the airports and even the seaports. Most common method of transportation is roadways, as you know. Roadways account for more than half of transportation system in the country, but the density of road network is concentrated in the eastern part of the country, as you saw. The forested lands of Amazon River Basin and the swampy land have limited development of roadways in this part. Naturally, it's a river and you can say it's a forest area, swampy lands, so less number of roadways. Waterways have been developed on a commercial basis in the Amazon River. Boats ply, they travel from Iquitos in Peru to the mouth of the river Amazon. The longest waterways in the world can be navigated through these waterways, around 3,700 kilometers. You know, the Amazon River, one of the largest ones, isn't it? Another river important for waterways is the south flowing Paraná River. Okay, so after Amazon, it's the Paraná River, and most of the transportation takes through that river also in Brazil. Coastal shipping is also carried out in the coastal areas. We know they have a big coastline. Railways have not developed very well in Brazil. The map showed you that only the southern part was showed a concentration of railway network. The use of trains for long distance transportation of passengers is restricted to a few urban tourist routes, though it is the cheaper. The contribution of airways is less in the transportation system of the country. Moving on to our country, children. There, have a look at the index first. You will see the thick pink line that shows you the north-south highway, right from Srinagar at the top, that is north, till Kanyakumari to the south. You see the thick pink line. This is connecting all the other highways. Okay, these are the national highways and they are connecting the state highways. Then you will see the green line that connects from the east to the west. You can have a better look in your textbook. And the third, the lighter pink line shows you the golden quadrilateral. And the black color are all the national highways. Now, what is the golden quadrilateral, children? You should know. What is it? The Golden Quadrilateral, which is called as the GQ, is a national highway network connecting most of the major industrial, agricultural, and cultural centers of our country. It forms a quadrilateral. You know, quadrilateral is a rectangle, isn't it? A square-like structure connecting the four major metro cities of India. Now, which are these metro cities? Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai and Chennai. So these are the four different cities, important cities of India, which are situated at four different corners. So the highway that is connecting these cities almost form a quadrilateral, and so it is called as the Golden Quadrilateral. Other cities connected by this network, they include, as you can see on the screen, Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, isn't it? And many other cities, Kolhapur, Varanasi, Pune, Mathura, all these cities are connected to the Golden Quadrilateral. This map shows you a clear picture of the Golden Quadrilateral. There in the north, you can see New Delhi, then east you can see Kolkata, in the northern area, southern part you will see Chennai and Mumbai. Moving on to the next part, that is the waterways in our country. Just have a look at the screen. Waterways are a cheap means of transport. Waterways contribute about 1% to the country's transportation. Yes, quite less, isn't it? Because we know that nowadays we are using more of the roadways, railways, and the airways. It comprises rivers, canals, backwaters, creeks, etc. Approximately 95% of India's foreign trade moves through ocean routes. Okay, so when the goods are exported or imported, it is generally done by the waterways. Apart from international trade, these are also used for the purpose of transportation between the islands and the rest of the country. As compared to Brazil, airways in India are more developed and the use of internal railway airways is also increasing. We have more airways than compared to Brazil. You will see in the figure or you will see in the map the airports that are situated in the various cities of India. What about railways? Let's have a look. As compared to Brazil, India has a denser network of transport. About 85% of passenger and 70% of freight traffic are carried by roads every year. Freight and passenger transport has been facilitated due to the development of railways. Railways are developed in our country. We know that a thick connection or a network is seen in many parts of our country. So railways, generally we are leaving the dense hilly states. There are railways in almost all parts of our country. Railways are important for the growth of Indian economy. Railway network is relatively less dense in the hilly states, northern eastern states, and the central part, and Rajasthan, which is a desert, while it is dense in the north, southern, and in the Indian plains. They are very important for a vast country where distances are large. Moving on to the third concept in this lesson, that is communication. What is communication, children? We all know, isn't it? Communication is when we try to contact with one another, we try to communicate with one another through different means. It can be even radio, TV, internet, social media, anything, isn't it? So we know there are so many modes of communication according to the recent times. You are aware of the vast longitudinal extent of Brazil, isn't it? You can see that Brazilian Standard Time, the figure shows you the Brazilian Standard Time. Given are the westernmost and the easternmost extreme points of Brazil mainland in the figure 9.2, isn't it? Here we are going to calculate now the time, isn't it? Time, Brazilian Standard Time and the IST, that is the Indian Standard Time, are quite different, isn't it? So we are going to see the and compare both of them. BRT, Brazilian Standard Time, Brazilian Time. You will find that because of the vast longitudinal extent of the country, the difference between two extreme points is around 168 minutes. That comes to 2 hours 48 minutes. The country is more larger than India, isn't it? So that is the reason. There are different time zones in the country. It has 4 time zones, whereas we don't have. The country is larger, so it has 4 time zones. We haven't. It is behind the GMT, that is Greenwich Meridian Time, by 2, 3, 4, or 5 hours. It's a spread it out country, isn't it? Longitudinal as well as latitudinal extents is more. The red line in the map shows the GMT, that is 03 time zone, which is considered to be the official Brazilian time, BRT. It is 3 hours behind GMT. This, the pink line, which we were seeing in figure 9.12. Let us have a comparative look between both the Indian Standard Time and the Brazilian time. Indian Standard Time, that is in India, it has only one time zone, isn't it? We are comparatively a smaller area wise to Brazil. So only we have one time zone. Whereas Brazil has 4 time zones. Just now we saw longitudinal extent is very larger. So 4 time zones. The official IST is 82.5 degrees east longitude, which passes through Mirzapur near Allahabad, Uttar Pradesh. And what about Brazil? The official Brazilian time is GMT 03, which passes through Brasilia, the national capital city over there. So here our longitude passes, which is 82.5 degrees, passes through Allahabad, and there Brasilia, the capital city. Indian Standard Time is 5 hours 30 minutes remember children, of Greenwich Meridian Time, GMT, as India is in the Eastern Hemisphere, whereas Brazilian time is 2, 3, 4, or 5 hours behind GMT, that is Greenwich Meridian Time, as Brazil is in the Western Hemisphere. You may find more facts about this if you have a Google search or you try to understand it in more detail. Now, what about the development of communication in Brazil? Telecommunication services in Brazil are well developed and very efficient. This industry includes landlines as well as mobile services, television broadcasting, radio, computers, internet, everything. Today, more than 45% of the Brazilian population has access to the internet. So many people are using in Brazil. The telecommunications infrastructure is fairly modern, particularly in the central southern part of Brazil. However, the north and northwestern are drastically less developed. This is about Brazil. Over recent years, mobile telephones have led the rapid expansion of telecommunication services in Brazil. Even in India, you see everyone has almost a mobile, and many of them have internet connections too. The nature of Brazilian territory, especially landmass size and the large pockets of unpopulated and densely vegetated areas create significant impediments to the expansion in coverage of telecommunications services. You know, we both the countries have launched their satellites and they are having a good access to technology and internet. Brazil is developing technology to send domestically made satellites into space with its own rockets. Similarly, in India, even we know that our country is also developing day by day in this sector. India too has a large longitudinal extent. The difference between the two extreme points, most points, is 2 hours or 120 minutes. India has only one standard time zone. We have seen in the previous slide, isn't it? We also saw that the 82.5 degree east longitude is the IST, that is Indian Standard Time, that passes through Allahabad. It is ahead of 5 hours 30 minutes from Greenwich. This also we have seen. With the explosion of electronic media, telecom industry has become one of the fast growing sectors in our country, children. In this era of information and communication, more digitally enhanced communication devices like mobile phones, internet and satellites are paving way to expansion for the wider reach of communication and technology. We know, even in English, we have studied that our space technology is also going higher and higher day by day. India is one of the largest users of smartphones and internet. And our space technology, as I said, development of our own satellites are also helping us in the technology. Let us move on to some of the brief or just summarize the lesson once again. So, moving on with the first slide, we saw the different tourist places in our country, isn't it? We know that our country as well as Brazil are having number of tourist places, and we have seen both of them, Brazil as well as India. Then we studied the second concept, that was transportation. Transportation in Brazil as well as India. So we studied that Brazil also has a good network of roads, railways, but compared to India, their airways are lesser, whereas we in India have more airways and facilities, isn't it? Sea routes or waterways are more developed in Brazil. We saw that the two major rivers, that is the Amazon River and the Paraná River, both are equally important when it comes to waterways in Brazil. Then we saw the roadways, railways, highways in India. We also learned more facts about the Golden Quadrilateral, isn't it? And we know that the Golden Quadrilateral is a national highway that is connecting the four metropolitan cities of our country, and how important work these routes are doing. They are connecting all the cities and the sub-cities together, right? This view we had of the Golden Quadrilateral. We also studied about the waterways in our country, and we also saw how the airways in our country are more developed than Brazil. You should have a keen look at this map because it shows you the various places and where the airports are situated, and even the important stations, important railway stations. The circles show you the same. Indian Railways play a important part in our economy. We saw how most of our passengers and our goods are freight traffic. That means the cargo is taken away from one place to another through our railways. So they are very important for the growth of the Indian economy and further the GDP. We also saw the communication and we saw the time zones. This figure 9.12 shows you the Brazilian Standard Time, isn't it? We learned how Brazil has four different time zones because of its vast longitudinal extent. So that is one of the thing. Even this slide is important. You should keep a note of this. This is something extra that we learned today. And I hope you have taken a screenshot, or I hope you have taken a picture of this. And I feel that you should more try to Google search about these facts. We also had saw the difference between the Indian Standard Time and the Brazilian Standard Time. Communications, then we saw the third part, that was in both the countries, isn't it? And we saw how communication is going to develop, is developing day by day in both the countries, and how it is helping in the GDP also. There are some questions on page number 66, and you need to answer those questions also with the help of the different figures that are given over here. In India also, we saw that Indian space technology has developed. In India, many people have started using mobile phones, and good connectivity is available because both the countries have launched their own satellites and rockets. So both are developing in this particular sector. Rather, Brazil is more developed than us in technology, and they are using that technology everywhere. So with this, I end up, children, my presentation, and I really thank Deccan Education Society for giving me an opportunity to be here and to have and to communicate with you all. I also thank the principal of my school, Mr. Eknath Burse, who also gave me this task. I thank my friend Anand Nirgurkar. So, children, with this, we have completed the last lesson in geography, that is, tourism, transportation, and communication. Let me tell you, children, it's very necessary that you jot down all the important points, read the lesson carefully, and make a separate notebook for your objectives. In this last lesson, we studied about three different concepts, right? Though they are easy and simple ones, I still feel that you should make notes in detail and keep on revising them day by day. Don't forget that revision is going to make you more better, isn't it? And after all, geography, the paper is going to have so many objectives, isn't it? So it is going to be a scoring one for you all. So with this, I end up, and I wish you all the best for your examination, also for your career, children. Stay blessed, stay happy. Thank you.